These trucks were so dangerous, powerful, or weird that the government said absolutely not, and some of them will blow your mind. You think you know pickup trucks? Think again. There's a whole world of trucks that automakers built, sold, and then suddenly had to pull off the market. Some were banned for being too dangerous, others for breaking environmental rules, and a few because they were just too strange for American roads. Today I'm counting down 20 pickup trucks that you literally cannot buy anymore and the crazy stories behind why they disappeared. Before we dive into the banned trucks, you need to understand something called the chicken tax. Back in 1964, America slapped a 25% tariff on imported light trucks because of a trade war over, get this, chicken exports to Europe. This single law has shaped the entire American truck market for 60 years and killed more great trucks than any safety regulation ever could. Toyota Hilux, the indestructible legend. Let's start with the most famous truck you can't buy, the Toyota Hilux. This thing is legendary worldwide. Top Gear tried to destroy one by drowning it, dropping it from a building, and setting it on fire. It kept running. ISIS uses them as war machines. Australian miners beat them to death in the outback, and they ask for more. But in America? Totally banned. Not because it's dangerous, because of that chicken tax. Toyota would have to pay 25% extra just to import each one, making it too expensive to compete. Instead, we get the Tacoma, which is basically a softer, more expensive version built in America to avoid the tariff. Nissan Navara, the global bestseller. The Nissan Navara is huge everywhere except America. In Europe, Australia, and Asia, this truck outsells almost everything. It's got modern diesel engines, sophisticated suspension, and technology that makes American trucks look ancient. The current model has a frame that's 70% stronger than the previous generation and payload capacity that beats most American midsize trucks. Why can't we have it? Same story. The chicken tax makes it impossible to import profitably. Instead, Nissan gives us the Frontier, which uses old technology and feels like it's from 2005 because, well, it basically is. Volkswagen Amarok, the thinking man's truck. Here's a truck that would change everything if Americans could buy it, the Volkswagen Amarok. This thing has a V6 turbo diesel that makes 258 horsepower and 427 pound-feet of torque while getting over 30 miles per gallon. It rides like a luxury car, handles like a sports car, and still hauls over 2,000 pounds. The Amarok has been crushing it in global markets since 2010, but American buyers will never see one. Volkswagen looked at the chicken tax math and said forget it. Why spend millions federalizing a truck when you'd have to charge $60,000 just to break even? Ford Ranger Raptor, original. Wait, you can buy a Ranger Raptor now, right? Yes, but not the original one. The first generation Ranger Raptor was available everywhere except America from 2018 to 2022. It had a twin-turbo four-cylinder diesel that made massive torque, Fox racing shocks, and off-road capability that embarrassed trucks twice its size. American truck fans begged Ford to bring it over. Ford's response? We're thinking about it. By the time they finally did bring a Ranger Raptor to America, it was a completely different truck with a gas engine and higher price tag. The original diesel version remains forbidden fruit. Mercedes-Benz X-Class, the luxury failure. Mercedes tried to build the world's most luxurious pickup truck. The X-Class had leather everything, advanced technology, and build quality that made other trucks feel like farm equipment. It was basically a Nissan Navara in a tuxedo, and it should have been amazing. Instead, it was a complete disaster. Mercedes spent billions developing it, sold it for 3 years, then killed it entirely. Why? Because even wealthy customers thought paying $80,000 for a pickup truck with a Mercedes badge was ridiculous. The X-Class is now banned from existence because Mercedes pretends it never happened. Holden Commodore Ute, the Aussie muscle. Australia had something America never did, rear-wheel drive muscle car pickups. The Holden Commodore Ute was basically a Camaro with a truck bed. It came with V8 engines making over 400 horsepower, manual transmissions, and the ability to burn rubber for days. When General Motors killed Holden in 2020, the Commodore Ute died with it. These trucks were never federalized for America, so importing one is basically impossible. Australian car culture lost something irreplaceable, and American truck fans never even knew what they were missing. Proton Jumbuck, the weird Malaysian. Here's one of the strangest trucks ever made. The Proton Jumbuck was Malaysia's attempt at building a compact pickup. It looked like someone took a sedan and cut the back half off with a chainsaw. The proportions were all wrong, the build quality was questionable, and it made about as much power as a riding lawnmower. Proton tried to export these things to various markets, but safety regulations kept shutting them down. The Jumbuck failed every crash test it attempted and couldn't meet emissions standards anywhere that mattered. It was banned not for being too good, but for being too terrible. Ssangyong Actyon Sports, the Korean oddball. Ssangyong built some of the weirdest looking vehicles ever, and the Actyon Sports pickup was their masterpiece of strange. It had styling that looked like it was designed by committee, with each committee member having a completely different idea of what a truck should look like. The Actyon Sports was sold in a few markets, but never made it to America. Not because of regulations, but because Ssangyong couldn't find a single American dealer willing to sell something that looked like a melted minivan with a truck bed grafted on the back. Isuzu D-Max Arctic trucks at 35. Regular D-Max trucks are tough, but the Arctic trucks version was insane. This thing had 35-inch tires, massive ground clearance, and modifications that let it drive across ice sheets and through snowdrifts that would swallow normal trucks whole. It was built for extreme conditions and priced accordingly. Arctic trucks tried to bring these to America, but ran into federal safety regulations. The modifications that made it capable also made it impossible to certify for road use. The AT-35 remains legal in cold climates worldwide, but banned from American roads. Mahindra Pickup Series. India's Mahindra tried for years to break into the American truck market. They had tough, simple pickups that were perfect for work duty and priced thousands below the competition. American farmers and contractors were excited about finally having an affordable alternative to expensive domestic trucks. But Mahindra couldn't get their trucks to pass American safety and emissions testing. After years of delays and millions in development costs, they gave up entirely. The Mahindra pickup dream died in regulatory paperwork, leaving Americans with fewer choices and higher prices. Great Wall Steed Series. Chinese automaker Great Wall built trucks that looked exactly like American pickups, but cost half as much. The Steed series was their attempt to crack international markets with affordable, capable trucks that looked familiar to Western buyers. Great Wall never even tried to bring these to America. They knew the combination of trade tariffs, safety regulations, and anti-Chinese sentiment would make success impossible. The Steed trucks sell well in Africa and South America, but remain completely banned from American shores. Tata Xenon, the Indian workhorse. Tata built the Xenon as a no-nonsense work truck for developing markets. It was simple, reliable, and incredibly cheap to buy and maintain. The Xenon had basic features, but could haul heavy loads and survive terrible roads that would kill more sophisticated trucks. Like other Indian manufacturers, Tata looked at American regulations and decided it wasn't worth the effort. The Xenon was designed for markets where function mattered more than safety ratings or emissions compliance. It thrived in its intended markets, but never had a chance in America. Mitsubishi Triton L200, current generation. Mitsubishi still makes trucks, but you can't buy them in America. The current Triton, known as the L200 in some markets, is actually a pretty decent midsize pickup. It has modern styling, efficient engines, and competitive capability. But Mitsubishi's American truck dreams died with the Raider in 2009. Mitsubishi only sold 21,890 of them, mainly because it didn't offer anything that wasn't available already. After that failure, Mitsubishi decided America was too tough a market for their trucks. The current Triton remains forbidden to American buyers. JAC T6, the Chinese challenger. JAC tried to build trucks that could compete with established brands while costing significantly less. The T6 was their flagship, a midsize pickup with modern features and aggressive pricing. It looked good on paper and performed well in testing. But JAC faced the same problems as other Chinese manufacturers: American regulations, trade barriers, and consumer skepticism about Chinese quality. The T6 never made it past the planning stages for American sales and remains banned by economics rather than law. Foton Tunland, the commercial specialist. Foton focused on commercial customers with a Tunland, a truck designed specifically for businesses that needed maximum capability at minimum cost. It was built tough for construction, mining, and agriculture applications where fancy features didn't matter. American commercial buyers would have loved the Tunland's low prices and high payload capacity. But Foton couldn't justify the massive investment required to meet American safety and emission standards for what would likely be a small market share. Dongfeng Rich Series. Dongfeng built the Rich Series as their answer to popular global pickups. These trucks had competitive specs, modern styling, and prices that undercut established competitors by significant margins. They sold well in markets that allowed them. But like other Chinese manufacturers, Dongfeng never seriously pursued American sales. The regulatory hurdles and market barriers were too high for a company with no established presence in America. The Rich Series remains completely unknown to American truck buyers. Chery Tiggo 3xe electric pickup. Before anyone else was seriously talking about electric trucks, some Chinese manufacturers were already building them. The Chery Tiggo 3xe was an early electric pickup that proved the concept could work for light-duty applications. These experimental electric trucks never made it to America because they were built before international safety standards existed for electric vehicles. By the time regulations caught up, newer designs had made the early attempts obsolete. The Tiggo 3xe represents a dead end in electric truck evolution. BAIC BJ40 pickup. BAIC built the BJ40 as a rugged, military-inspired pickup for customers who wanted maximum off-road capability. It looked like a modern version of classic military trucks and had the performance to back up its aggressive appearance. The BJ40 pickup was designed for markets where ruggedness mattered more than refinement. American safety regulations would have required significant modifications that would have eliminated the truck's main selling points: simplicity and low cost. Brilliance Jinbei T-Series. Brilliance tried to crack international markets with their Jinbei truck series. These were practical, affordable pickups designed for markets where customers needed basic transportation more than luxury features. Like other Chinese manufacturers, Brilliance found American regulations too expensive to overcome for what would likely be limited sales. The Jinbei trucks work fine in their intended markets, but remain completely banned from American consideration. In conclusion, here's what's really happening. Most of these trucks aren't banned because they're dangerous or terrible. They're banned because of protectionist policies that keep foreign competition out of the American market. The chicken tax alone has prevented dozens of excellent trucks from reaching American buyers. Safety and emissions regulations play a role too, but they're often used as convenient excuses. Many of these banned trucks meet or exceed safety standards in other developed countries. The real barrier is that it costs hundreds of millions of dollars to federalize a vehicle for American sale, and most manufacturers can't justify that investment for uncertain returns. American truck buyers are missing out on incredible variety and value. While we're stuck with expensive, similar-looking trucks from the same few manufacturers, the rest of the world enjoys dozens of different options at every price point. Small, efficient trucks, powerful diesels, luxury models, and budget workhorses, all banned from American roads. The irony is that American consumers would probably love many of these trucks. The Toyota Hilux would sell like crazy if it was legal. The Volkswagen Amarok would create a whole new market segment. Even some of the weirder options would find dedicated buyers who want something different. Some hope exists for change. Trade relationships evolve, regulations get updated, and manufacturers occasionally take big risks on new markets. A few companies are working on ways around current barriers, building trucks in American factories to avoid tariffs, or partnering with established brands to share regulatory costs. But most of these 20 trucks will probably remain permanently banned. Hit subscribe and check out our next video about trucks that should have been banned but somehow weren't.